This Dark Souls 3 series covers how to do all quests and missable content in order so that all choices and rewards will be available. For best results, follow this series from the start of part 1. There will be spoilers in the form of important information, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. At the end of part 9, we had just completed the base game. In part 10, we will be covering the main questline and bosses of the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. We first accessed this DLC back in part 4 by speaking with Slave Knight Gale near the Cleansing Chapel Bonfire. Following a short cinematic, we appeared in the painted world of Ariandel and found the first bonfire a short distance away. Starting at the Snowfield bonfire, we will move into the snow and over the ridge. We should find an item sitting on a ledge, and that ledge will break beneath our feet when we approach it. We can then run along the left side of this area, past multiple groups of wolves, and along a mountain ridge. We should eventually come upon a tall tower in the distance, and if we want, we can climb it to get the captain's ashes. After getting the ashes, we can perform a series of survivable drops to get a few unique items. Exiting the tower, we will go up the hill just ahead and then down the path that follows to reach a large wooden bridge. In a cave just before the bridge is the next bonfire. Starting from the rope bridge cave bonfire, we can move across the long wooden bridge, and as a warning, don't attack while crossing, as doing so will cause the bridge to collapse. On the other side of the bridge, we will find an NPC by the name of Sir Vilhelm. We can speak to him, then go inside the chapel to discover another bonfire. Sister Friede will be next to the Ariandel Chapel bonfire, and we can speak to her 2 times to get the Chillbite ring, which will help us with the main threats of this DLC. Now let's go defeat the first major boss of the DLC. Heading out of the chapel, we can slash at the bridge to break it. After the broken bridge settles, we can use it as a ladder and slide down to the area below. We'll need to carefully perform a series of survivable falls to reach the bottom of this area, and it's made more difficult by the enemies shooting large arrows at us. Because of that, it's important that we keep moving and don't present them with an easy target. Once we've reached the bottom, we can go discover the next bonfire nearby. Starting from the depths of the painting Bonfire, we will move out and to the right. The boss is located within the pit of white flowers. Don't forget the Symbol of Avarice trick, and you can pause now to avoid spoilers. For everyone else, the champion's Gravetender starts out easy enough. We just need to deal with the 3 wolves, then fight the Gravetender. Things get a little more difficult when the Gravetender Great Wolf shows up, and even more so when it gets to around half health and becomes enraged. At that point, I found the best opportunity for dealing damage is when the wolf does its Ice Breath attack. Equipping the Symbol of Avarice after the fight will get us an additional 30,000 souls. We will also get the Valorheart Sword and Shield along with the Champion's Bones. We can go back to Firelink Shrine to give the Captain's Ashes to the Handmaid and burn the Champion's Bones at the Bonfire, unlocking the Undead Match Mode. Next up, let's travel to the Rope Bridge Cave Bonfire and move down the path to the left of the bridge, towards the Corvian settlement. After reaching the bottom of the path, we'll need to move through the moat of the settlement to reach the next bonfire. Passing a Corvian Knight, we will find a ladder to our right, and a quick warning here that there is a friendly NPC Corvian ahead. The Corvian settler is located in the first house within the kitchen area. We can speak to them and say I am Ash to get some information about Ariandel. We can then move out of that house and into the next one on our left to find a bonfire. Starting from the Corvian settlement bonfire, we will move out and across a bridge. Going up the main path, we'll quickly see a small alleyway to our right, which we will want to go down. Watching out for the shoving Corvians, we can find a ladder to the rooftops up a small set of stairs and down to the right. In the next tower, we can drop down into the room below for the Slave Knight armor set if we want, but we will then need to make our way back here and climb up the ladder in the tower. We can run along this elevated area to reach the graveyard and a small church, which contains the Way of White Corona spell. Be warned that there are also 2 Corvian Knights in there, and personally I'm just going to leave. The graveyard gate can be opened to serve as a shortcut, and we will then want to head over to the second larger structure to our left. We'll need to defeat the enemy inside, and you can pause now until that's done to avoid spoilers. In any case, defeating the hostile Sir Vilhelm will get us his Onyx Blade, as well as the contraption key. With that, we can pull the nearby lever to reveal a staircase leading upstairs. We will find another friendly NPC up there, the Painter, and we should speak through all of their dialogue. Running out to the nearby balcony, we can go across the wooden planks to the right to reach the next bonfire, as well as open a shortcut for it. Starting from the Snowy Mountain Pass bonfire, we will move up along the pathway, looking for a giant bell. We can go to the right of the bell, then up the next path beyond it. From there, we will turn left and follow a narrow path past several more wolves and a couple of Millwood soldiers. Once we reach the end of this path, we can push over a decaying tree to create another shortcut, then move through the passageway to our left. I recommend following this path before exploring or looting this area, just in case you die. We'll move across the right side of the open pit along a wooden walkway. We can then go up the spiral staircase at the back left corner of this chamber to open a shortcut back to the Ariandel Chapel bonfire. While here, we can go speak with Friede for some new dialogue. We can also go up the nearby ladder to find and speak with the painter once more. From the chapel bonfire, we will move back down the spiral staircase and drop down into the pit below. We will find a contraption there which we can interact with to open the final boss chamber back above. However, before we go there, we can go pick up the Vilhelm armor set nearby. Running along the wall to our left, we can attack or roll through an illusory wall to reveal a hidden passageway. Emerging outside, we can go down another series of drops. Thankfully, there are no enemies shooting arrows at us this time around. This platforming section ends at the upper portion of the tower where we fought the champion's Gravetender. There are 2 homeward bones and a pyromancer's parting flame as we land. In addition, if we are embered and walk to the arena at the center, we will be invaded by the livid pyromancer Dunnel. Defeating him will get us the floating chaos spell. Returning to the Ariandel Chapel bonfire, we can speak with Friede once more. There's a summoning sign for Slave Knight Gale to the left of the revealed passageway, and I found him to be very helpful for the fight. In any case, we can descend the stairs and interact with the NPC there to start the final boss fight of the DLC. Don't forget about the Symbol of Avarice trick, and you can pause now to avoid spoilers. For everyone else, Sister Friede is one of the more interesting boss fights in the game and can also be quite challenging. For Phase 1, we just need to get in attacks when possible and avoid the bursting ice crystals that she will sometimes create on the ground. We will also want to stay close if we can, as Friede will sometimes turn invisible and begin winding up a strong attack. If we lose sight of her, we will need to listen for her footsteps or other audio cues to find her position and attack her before she is able to strike at us. Once we've fully emptied her first health bar, Phase 2 of the fight will start, and Slave Knight Gale will appear if we summoned him before starting the fight. For this phase, it is much easier to attack Father Ariandel than Friede. However, Friede is still a great danger to us and we need to watch out for her attacks. In addition, about halfway through this phase, Friede will begin casting a healing spell and we will need to attack her to interrupt it. Once we've burned through that health bar, we will get a Titanite slab, and the third phase of the fight will begin, against Black Flame Friede. This is the phase where having a second sword, specifically Gale, can make a huge difference. This phase is very similar to the first phase, but Friede becomes a lot more dangerous and gains a whole new set of moves. Equipping the Symbol of Avarice after defeating Friede will get us an additional 35,000 or so souls. We will also get the soul of Sister Friede. We should discover the bonfire that appears nearby, and we can interact with the second spiral sword that appears to travel to the Ringed City DLC. However, there are a couple more things we can do here. First, if we go speak with the painter again, they will give us some final dialogue. In addition, if we travel to the Corvian settlement bonfire and go through the building to our right, we will find the Corvian settler NPC in a new position. Speaking with them there will get us another Titanite slab. If you're having trouble or need any clarification on what was covered in this video, you can reach out to me in the comments where I will do my best to help. All that's left is the Ringed City DLC. That will be covered in part 11 of this series, which you can find over on my channel. If you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Thursday, and as always, thanks for watching.